Jung left us an invaluable legacy by teaching us how to explore the depths of our minds to overcome life's complex challenges. One major emotional struggle is letting go of someone who, despite leaving our lives, still occupies our thoughts. How can we release someone who has become a persistent shadow in our consciousness? This deeply human question is where Jung offers key insights for understanding and healing. The reason someone lingers in your mind isn't always due to love or attachment. They may symbolize something deeper. Perhaps they reflect an unhealed wound of fear and insecurity, or even a repressed part of yourself. According to Jung, the unconscious uses symbols to communicate with us. The people we struggle to let go of are, in reality, mirrors reflecting unresolved aspects of our psyche. When you think of that person, what emotions surface? Sadness, anger, nostalgia, or a mix of all? These emotions are messages from your unconscious. It's not just about the other person, but about what they trigger within you. Instead of suppressing these feelings, Jung would encourage you to explore them. What story is your mind telling you? Ignoring these signals prolongs suffering, while facing them honestly can be the first step toward liberation. Letting go begins with accepting that this person isn't meant to have a permanent place in your life. But accepting this isn't resignation. It's an act of profound self-love. Often, we hold on to someone in our minds because we cling to what might have been. We torment ourselves with endless what-ifs and create imaginary scenarios that will never happen. This attachment to the past prevents us from embracing the present and envisioning a new future. Jung teaches us that the unconscious acts as a silent companion, showing us what we need to confront to grow. If that person stays in your mind, ask yourself, what lesson do I need to learn from this? What part of me needs healing or transformation? These are tough questions, but essential for moving forward. We often get stuck in obsessive thought patterns because we resist facing the shadows these people reveal within us. The shadow, as Jung defined it, consists of those parts of our personality we prefer not to see, those aspects we repress because we deem them unacceptable. But the more we ignore our shadow, the more control it has over our lives. The person occupying your mind may remind you of a shadow you need to integrate. When you start working with your shadow, something powerful happens. You stop projecting your fears and insecurities onto others. Instead of blaming someone else for your feelings, take responsibility for your own emotions. This is empowering because it reclaims the power you had given to that relationship. The journey to liberation also requires self-compassion. Don't punish yourself for feeling this way. Understand that you are healing and that every emotion serves a purpose. Instead of resisting your feelings, accept them as a natural part of being human. This approach not only eases pain, but also leads to a deeper self-understanding. By accepting and exploring your emotions, you take a vital step toward self-awareness. Carl Jung believed that achieving wholeness is not about eliminating pain, but integrating it. By accepting pain as part of your experience, you discover its purpose. Every emotion teaches you something, and everyone who impacts your life is a teacher, even if their lesson is hard to accept. Integrating your shadows transforms your relationship with yourself and the world around you. When you stop projecting your wounds onto others, you start seeing people as they truly are, not just as reflections of your fears or desires. This change in perspective is powerful because it lets you connect with others authentically rather than seeking validation or control. Letting go of someone doesn't mean forgetting their significance. Relationships, even ended ones, are part of your story. Denying them would mean denying a part of yourself. However, you can honor those memories without letting them define you. Jung would say the past is valuable not as an anchor that keeps you stuck, but as a beacon illuminating your path to growth. One of Jung's most transformative tools is introspection. Spend time in silence, reflecting on what that person represents in your life. What emotions do they stir? What patterns do you notice? What parts of yourself emerge when you think of them? This exercise is challenging, but it helps you understand your attachment and gain clarity to move forward. Liberation is not linear. Some days you'll feel like you've moved on, and other days emotions will resurface intensely. This is normal. Jung reminds us that personal growth is layered, not instantaneous. Each time you face your emotions, you're healing deeper parts of yourself. It's also crucial to surround yourself with a supportive environment. The people you spend time with greatly impact your energy and well-being. Jung believed our relationships reflect our internal state. If you constantly surround yourself with people who demotivate you or reinforce negative thoughts, moving forward becomes much harder. Instead, seek connections that inspire you, remind you of your worth, and encourage growth. Letting go involves redefining your identity. Often, we tie our sense of self to a relationship or someone's presence in our lives, believing we're incomplete without them. But Jung teaches that true wholeness comes from within. When you reconnect with yourself, you realize you don't need anyone else to feel complete. Ask yourself, who am I outside this relationship? What dreams, passions, and talents have I neglected while focusing on this person? Allow yourself to rediscover them. You might find that the version of yourself that emerges is stronger, wiser, and more authentic than ever. As you reconnect with yourself, your energy shifts. The emotional burden you were carrying starts to dissipate, replaced by a sense of lightness and clarity. This is the power of letting go. It frees you from the past and opens you up to new possibilities. Carl Jung said, "Life isn't about avoiding suffering, but finding meaning in every experience. When you find that meaning, something magical happens. You transform your pain into wisdom. In this process, cultivate practices that strengthen your internal connection. Writing is a powerful tool. Take a moment to put your thoughts on paper, writing without filters to let your emotions flow freely. Ask yourself, what has this relationship taught me about myself? What parts of myself do I want to embrace? And which do I need to heal? This exercise provides clarity and releases emotions you've been holding inside. Another powerful practice is visualization. Imagine letting go of this relationship like a rope you've been tightly holding onto. Watch as it drifts away, taking with it all the pain, attachment, and expectations holding you back. In its place, visualize a radiant light filling the empty space, symbolizing renewal. These exercises aren't just symbolic. They have a real impact on your mind and energy. Be patient with yourself. The path to healing isn't linear. Some days you'll feel like you've taken enormous steps forward. Other days, it may seem like you're moving backward. But remember, every step, even the smallest ones, is part of your progress. Carl Jung believed the soul has its own rhythm of healing, and forcing the process creates more resistance. Learning to trust time and your ability to overcome this challenge is crucial. When you start to let go of attachments, something truly remarkable occurs. You begin to see life from a completely different perspective. Jung called this the process of individuation, a journey toward becoming your true self, free from external influences that distort your essence. This experience is profoundly liberating because it reconnects you with yourself. You realize you are enough, have always been enough, and don't need to cling to anyone to feel whole. At this stage, it's common to feel a mix of emotions. On one hand, there's joy and liberation, but on the other, there might be a sense of emptiness. However, this emptiness isn't something to fear, but to embrace. It is a fertile space, ready to be filled with new experiences, meaningful connections, and fresh dreams. Jung believed emptiness is a prelude to creativity. So instead of resisting it, use it as an opportunity to reinvent yourself. One of the greatest gifts of this process is the ability to connect with others authentically. You will no longer seek validation or hide parts of yourself just to be accepted. This not only transforms your relationships, but also attracts people who truly align with you. When you present your true self to the world, the universe responds with connections and opportunities that resonate with your truth. By living authentically, you realize something transformative. You no longer need to cling to the past to define your worth or identity. Carl Jung believed much of our suffering comes from identifying with what we've lost, rather than with what we can create. This shift in perspective lets you take control of your life and focus on what's yet to come rather than remaining trapped in the past. The key to overcoming someone who lingers in your mind isn't in forgetting them, but in integrating what they represented into your growth. Every relationship and experience, whether good or bad, serves a purpose. Jung teaches us that these interactions act as mirrors, reflecting aspects of our psyche yet to be explored. Understanding this transforms pain into growth, and what once seemed like a loss becomes an opportunity for expansion. A crucial part of this process is recognizing the expectations you placed on that person. Often, attachment isn't about the person themselves, but what they represented in your life. Maybe you believed they were the key to your happiness, stability, or sense of belonging. But the truth, as Jung emphasized, is that everything you seek outside yourself already exists within you. That emptiness you tried to fill with another person is just a disconnection from yourself. Reconnecting with yourself takes courage and a willingness to look inward. It may be an uncomfortable journey, but it's profoundly liberating. Jung emphasized the importance of facing the shadows. We tend to avoid those parts of our psyche we'd rather ignore. By confronting them, you realize these shadows aren't your enemies. They are teachers, showing you what needs healing and guiding you to a deeper understanding of who you truly are. You might wonder, how can I face my shadows? One effective way is through self-observation. Pay close attention to your thoughts and emotions, especially those that arise around certain people. What themes keep recurring? Are there underlying insecurities or fears? Observing without judgment helps unravel the patterns that have kept you trapped. Another powerful approach is practicing forgiveness not only toward others, but also yourself. We often carry guilt for actions or inactions in relationships, punishing ourselves with thoughts like, I should have done more, or if only I had been different. But Jung reminds us that every experience, even mistakes, is part of our growth path. Forgiving yourself is an act of love and liberation. As you progress on this journey, it's essential to establish new emotional boundaries. This doesn't mean becoming cold or distant, but learning to protect your energy. When you allow someone to occupy your mind constantly, you give away your power. Reclaiming that power involves consciously deciding where to focus your attention and energy. This strengthens you and prepares you for healthier, more balanced relationships in the future. The process of letting go is not a final destination, but an ongoing journey. Each step toward healing brings you closer to your true essence, revealing life's natural rhythm of giving and receiving, learning and releasing. Embracing this flow, you realize you don't need to cling to anything to be happy. Everything you need for a fulfilling life is already within you. As you deepen this journey of freedom and self-discovery, remember that letting go is not about rejection, but affirming your worth and right to live in peace. Carl Jung stressed that personal growth can't occur if you're trapped in constant struggle with the past. Letting go is about integrating those experiences as essential chapters of your story, allowing them to strengthen you rather than limit you. A crucial part of this process is learning to listen to your intuition. Jung described intuition as a direct connection to the unconscious, an internal guide always available to lead you toward what is best for you. In the hustle of daily life, this voice often gets lost. It's important to create space to hear it, whether through meditation, spending time in nature, or simply allowing quiet moments for yourself to listen. You'll find that your intuition doesn't draw you to the past, but pushes you forward. It encourages you to let go of emotional chains and trust that the future holds better things. This trust is crucial because we often cling to the familiar out of fear of the unknown. Jung reminds us that real growth happens when we bravely face uncertainty. The strength of this approach lies in its ability to change both your perspective and your reality. According to Jung, our external experiences reflect our internal world. If you're stuck in patterns of pain, frustration, or attachment, these feelings will likely show up in your relationships and daily life. But by working on your inner self, by healing and letting go, you'll notice a real change in what you attract and how you feel. This shift isn't just emotional, it's energetic. Each time you release an attachment, you make room for something new. It's like clearing weeds from a garden. Removing what's no longer useful allows flowers to grow stronger. This is the essence of synchronicity, a fascinating concept introduced by Jung. When you're in tune with yourself, the universe responds in unexpected ways, bringing people, opportunities, and experiences that match your new energy. At this point, you begin to feel a renewed sense of purpose. You define yourself not by what's lost, but by what you're building. This is a powerful moment to set new goals, explore forgotten passions, and reconnect with what truly makes you happy. Allow yourself to dream big, knowing you are now in a stronger emotional place to pursue those dreams. A key part of this process is surrounding yourself with a supportive community. Jung believed that while inner work is personal, healthy relationships are vital for our well-being. Seek out people who share your values, inspire you, and motivate you to keep growing. These connections not only offer support, but remind you that you're not alone on this journey. Finally, remember that letting go doesn't mean you'll never think of that person or relationship again. Memories may come up occasionally, and that's okay. What counts is how you choose to respond. Instead of letting them pull you back, use them as reminders of how far you've come and the strength you've gained. As you journey along this path of self-discovery and liberation, you'll find that each step forward not only brings you closer to your true self, but also inspires those around you. Carl Jung said that when one person transforms, everything around them changes. This process is a gift not only to yourself, but also to the people in your life. By confronting your shadows, letting go of attachments, and embracing your true self, you become a living example of what it means to truly live. Imagine what your life would be like if you stopped carrying the weight of the past. Picture waking up each day feeling light, knowing you are aligned with your purpose, and having the freedom to create the life you truly desire. This is not an unattainable dream. It is a reality you can build by making the right decisions, one step at a time. Letting go of someone who still occupies your thoughts isn't the end. It marks the beginning of an exciting new chapter by integrating everything we've discussed today. It becomes clear that healing and releasing aren't just about letting go. They are also about creating. You are building a life based on your truth, peace, and purpose. Along this journey, every decision and step you take will stand as a testament to your strength and commitment to yourself. Now, I invite you to reflect on what we've shared. What steps are you ready to take today to start freeing that person from your mind? What dreams, goals, or projects have you put on hold that you are now ready to pursue? Your transformation begins with a decision, and that decision is in your hands. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to join this growing community. Share this video with someone who needs it, someone struggling to let go, or who needs to be reminded of their own power. Every time you share content like this, you're helping more people discover these tools and reflections that can change lives. Leave your thoughts in the comments. What part of this message touched your heart? What actions are you willing to take after hearing it? I'd love to read your experiences and reflections. Remember, your words could be the encouragement someone else needs to take a step toward their own transformation. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future messages like this. Every interaction matters, not just to help this content reach more people, but to create a community where we can all grow together. Change begins with you, and by sharing your light, you inspire others to find their own. Thank you for being here, for being part of this journey, and for choosing to transform your life from within. See you in the next video. Until then, remember, your power to change your reality is always within you.